how you guys have your names that you use to describe life? I didn't even realize you guys didn't use this one when you're a little cold.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly, David.
It's a little chilly,
You don't
David.
use that?
Respect.
I've used that since Chili was in his prime as a player.
Respect.
With my friends growing up.
I love that.
That phrase is what, 20 plus
yeah,
years old?
When a guy acts up like he's got beer muscles, you're trying to be a little toughy goes, which I get it.
Yep.
We talked about that one, Kratz, a little toughy goes.
Home run had it has to carry up over the fence. Carrie Underwood.
yes.
Wow, that's good.
Or somebody hits the ball hard consistently. Whew, barrel strawberry.
Oh man, now you're getting something I've never. Listen, there's got to be a top 10 of those that we got to figure out. That's an off-season thing for sure.
It is. Barrel strawberry is exceptional.
Oh man, I'm going to use that.
Wow, I like that a lot. Hey, so maybe more of those phrases tonight as we'll find out what the kids are saying these days. And what I mean by the kids is those current big leaguers that are going to join us on the FT watch party, the first one of this postseason. We've been doing a ton of post-game shows. We've been loading up for this Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern ALCS Game 4. Vinny Pasquantino and Brent Rooker are running the show. I'm just there to help point guard move things along as the guest list is stacked. It includes Tyreek Skubal, Mason Miller,
and
Bobby Witt Jr.
Absolutely incredible.
Pretty good names.
These things are what I would be like so excited to watch, and I can't wait to watch, if you want the truth, to get the personality of people that have played, literally just played a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
against these guys.
A week ago, not even. So they might give you some tidbits about, this guy. Oh, look where he's positioning. Maybe look at his arm angle or what they're trying to throw to people. So this is, if you got time, you better come out and listen to this. Get your youngsters out there too, because it's going to be a joy to watch.
Yeah, and it's AL guys talking about the LCS.
Beautiful.
People are like, why'd you pick that game? I'm like, because they know those teams and those pitchers well, obviously, and scheduling worked out. So we're doing it.
It's pretty decent. I'm so excited. I hope I got service up in the mountains. There's no way you can miss this. Like, if you are a baseball fan and you're actually watching the game, hit mute, watch the boys rap about it.
Yeah, highly, highly recommend it. And, hopefully we'll do at least one more during the World Series too. But Vinny P said, don't want to overstate anything, but we're going to try to bring some extra guests on this. And if some of the people we have reached out to are able to, this could be pretty special. And he also said, if anyone has suggestions for guests, let them know.
That's great. Just give them 5-10 minutes of love, man.
Yeah.
It would be awesome.
I like
it. First of its kind. I can't wait.
He understated it. I mean, you have the Cy Young, you have runner-up MVP, you got maybe American League Roll-Aids relief pitcher. What's that called now? Mariano relief pitcher of the year. Don't forget Rooker and Pasquatch. Scott's going to be there too.
I'm going to try and be invisible, like how every referee and ump should be in a game.
Yeah, but
you should just be like, oh, I didn't say anything about him because he just did his job. And it was all about Vinny and Brent.
Exactly. I'm sure you'll have to jump in every once in a while.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time where there's a pitch and change or, that kind of stuff. So that's what you're there for.
You know what I'm there for? Bring in the guests, do all the things that they don't have to worry about. I just want them to talk ball and really get into it.
Who's going to give everybody a hard time?
Who?
Who's going to give everybody a hard time?
That's the job of you and Todd Father. And obviously, we can't get you guys tonight. You guys got plans, but that is your job. So if you have any thoughts, you can text it to me. Cam Maven's going to be running point with us for a bit as well. So he can talk some crap, right? He can rip a little game and tell the guys,
man. He's a smart guy.
Get off your high horse if he needs to. So anyway, just wanted to give that a little bit of love for a few minutes. Now let's charge the damn mound and get into what we saw yesterday.
Charging the mound.
Emotional roller coaster. What a damn game.
Oh, man.
What a ALCS Game 3. And obviously, Todd, if the Yanks go up 3-0, no one comes back except for one friggin' year in 2004. So the chances are basically non-existent. And you see Judge do what he did against Class A's Cutter, Oppo, and then Stanton take that slider. They said they kind of slowed down his bat, right? And got him in a good place to freaking whack the crap out of the ball. After that, you're like, okay, here we go. See you in the World Series.
Dude, I'm sitting there. First of all, my TV wasn't working, so I'm watching in like a separate bedroom. My wife's cooking. And I'm yelling. I'm like, he did him. And with my son and 5-year-old, he's jumping up for joy. It was such, those kind of things. This is what playoff baseball is about. Memories, watching this game with your family and stuff. And, man, that was it. I'm like, 4-3. Then they get the extra insurance run. And then next thing you know, oh, my God. When what's his name hit
Big Christmas?
Big Christmas hit the ball. I'm telling you, I thought it was going out of the stadium. That's how hard I thought he hit that ball. And here's he absolutely crushed that ball. And for people that are watching at home, it's so hard to do coming off bench. He's been struggling like 16 or whatever it was. Coming off the bench, like, let's give him a chance. He's got all the power in the world. Hanging, breaking, what is that little slide piece, cut piece action?
Change up.
Oh, it was a changeup. I thought it had a little spin. So it hung right there. I mean, how are you sitting on that pitch? Kratzy, talk to me. Like, I'm sitting fastball the whole time. There's no way I'm hitting that pitch. And then, it just kept going. It more and more. It's an all-time great game to watch.
I hope we can break it down with Tommy, because there's defense. Tommy Kahnle, when he comes on later, there was defensive plays that kept it in that. There's so many times in Cleveland. I get it. Cleveland, you're starving for a world championship. You won a World Series championship. But you have seen some absolute electric home runs in the last decade of baseball in the playoffs. So I hope they can enjoy it. I hope they can enjoy everything that was about last night. But there's so many things we can break down from Clase, their approach to Clase. And really, to me, the game changed on Andres Gimenez's glove.
Oh.
Yeah, his play was insane.
That was insane.
Here's Rooker, who you'll see later. An A sensation. He goes, I go to one dinner and miss the most exciting 3 innings of baseball possible. Sick.
It was incredible.
It was. And they were going back to back. So I'm watching both games. I think I texted maybe Kratz, and I'm like, really? Could we have spread these games out a little more? Now, you don't know. A game's going to go to extras. And you got the 2 New York teams in. So I'm just thinking about some of the New York families, the households that want to watch Mets, that want to watch Yanks. And I get it. You have multiple devices and all that. But you want to, completely devote your attention to one game. And I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Mets is starting. Ohtani hit a home run, first AB, and then the other side, you're deep into extras. Actually, Ohtani and Judge were almost up at the same time. I think I think Judge what happened to Judge in the 10th? Was it the 10th that he was up?
He struck out.
He struck out.
Yeah.
So he strikes out, and I think Ohtani came up right after that and then hit the homer, seconds later. So I'm doing one of these. I'm like, Judge is up, Ohtani's up. We're in the Final Four, right? We're in the CS. So it was awesome. It was just a great moment in our sport. And also I wanted to shout out John Kenzie Noel, Big Christmas, for the way that he what's it called? Got rid of the bat.
Yeah, no, it's a slight pimp job. And when you hit him like that, he could have done a lot more than what expected. And that, I knew it. Fine. I'm going to throw the bat to the side, whip it, bye-bye, put my head down and run.
He could have been in the marching band where he takes the bat and he goes.
Yes, exactly. Oh, man.
If you need to
say
see
anything when he does that, right?
No, nothing. You can't. You're not worried about it at all. He's not showing anybody up. That is the biggest home run he will ever hit in his life, or has hit in his life up until this point. If you want to feel electricity, listen to the Spanish broadcast of his home run. The Guardian Spanish broadcast. I mean, they dropped the Montra, they dropped the Navidad, they dropped, everything. It was electric. I mean, that's not taking anything away from Hammer either. Tom Hamilton was crushing it on both the Yoneski calls and the David Fry call. But the Big Christmas call by the Spanish broadcast was unbelievable.
You're not kidding.
First homer since August 30th, spanning 76 plate appearances. First extra base hit since September 13th, spanning 41 plate appearances. Yeah, he was cold. He wasn't doing much. He was sitting a lot. They definitely platoon, right? I mean, you look at David Fry's ABs the entire postseason, you're like, this dude should be playing every day, but that's just not how they operate. Yep. And you get your big weapon. late in the game. His first AB wasn't good. Second AB was a game winner. So lastly, did you guys see? I didn't see it, but I'm being told, I guess Class A did some Instagram posts with all of his accolades and stuff.
Interesting.
Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
I didn't
but I'm
see
being
that.
told there was something. So I mean, you guys know. I mean, you're going through it, and it doesn't matter. Your team won, but his season was insane. Oh, there it is.
Oh no.
We'll talk tomorrow. Good night. Oh, come on, man.
All MLB. Oh, he's showing all the trophies.
God. Yeah, something's swimming in there right now. So beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but come on, man. We know you're good. We know you're a beast. It happens. It's been a couple games. So what? They're going to need you. Hello, that one's nice. All MLB. That's a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah, they all look good, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just for a confidence boost.
He's missing the one, though. He's missing the one, so the World Series ring. But I don't know. Maybe, he's hearing stuff and reading stuff that he doesn't want to hear and wants to make sure everybody knows how good he is. People go through spurts, man. I get it. This has just been, some of the different things that have gone on. 5 earned runs all year long, and he's given up more than that in these last 3 or 4 games he's played. So it's got to be frustrating for sure. But stick to the game plan, dude. Stick to the game. The one I think about, not to be Monday quarterback, but why do they keep bringing him in? Not in the 9th inning. Like these are closers.
Because he can do multiple.
Yeah, I know,
innings,
but
though. I mean, he's done it well.
In my opinion, I don't agree with it. Even bringing Weaver in for a couple, like these guys don't want. I don't know. In a playoff game, it's a different scenario. And again, I'm not knocking anybody. I know he can do it, but we've seen what happened when he does, and they have plenty of good arms. Like that can easily go 7th and 8th, and he can come in at 9th. Like it brings your motion so high, and then boom, they come right down. This isn't regular season. The regular season is a different story.
Yeah,
this is playoff baseball. So
he was 5 earned runs, 2 homers in the regular season, 6 earned runs, 2 homers in the postseason. Now Devin Williams went through it. Josh Hader went through it. He's not the only one, but my only gripe is the slider, where you're 2 out of the 3 big homers he's given up are on that slider, and I'm just like, I mean, Judge, you tip your cap, but everyone else, like, you can't do much with that cutter. Yeah. Definitely not, pulling it. So what Judge's at bat was insane. But anyway, let's get into actually somebody who just works with his best pitch, and guys can't touch it. Yeah. Tommy Kahnle in the waiting room. We'll talk to him in a minute. Pop quiz, America's #1 meal kit is
Hello Fresh.
Hey, not Hey Fresh. Hello Fresh.
Hey.
I could see Kratz being like, with the fam, and they're like, Dad, what's for dinner tonight? And be like, Hey Fresh.
Oh Jesus. Oh boy.
I'm bringing
ZD.
Yeah, it could be like, yo, I already got this covered. I put all the orders in for the month a couple weeks ago, and now they even know what I'm doing, so they just kind of pick the meals for me on a weekly basis. So you got the fresh ingredients. You don't have to go to the store, too, and get 8,000 things to make one sauce. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's right
if
there.
You're trying to make one sauce, and you need so many different things, and then you're going to end up wasting that. Like, they give you the pre-portioned ingredients,
Sure.
So you're all hooked up. And if you're hungry right now, go check out the website, HelloFresh.com/freeFT is the spot, because in addition to being all hooked up, you get to the cart, you're going to be like, this is way cheaper than I anticipated. You get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/freeFT applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/FREEFT. Top right corner of the screen there. That looks like a Kratz concoction.
It does.
Right? That looks like something Kratz. He loves like because obviously they don't give you the bowls. Like you get all the ingredients, and then Kratz definitely has like those huge family style bowls.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
He gets
puts it on the table.
He gets first dibs too, for
Does
sure.
he get first dibs?
I'll believe it.
Kratz?
Nope.
It's true.
Nope. Everybody eats first. I'll make the meal. Everybody else eats first, Todd. This isn't your birthday. Look, you're not a big leaguer anymore, bro. This is your
Listen,
family, okay?
you ain't
You're the first in the
you ain't the
line.
boss in the house. He ain't the boss. That's the problem. He's a puppy.
Hey, sheep. I'm a sheep. Bah, bah.
Yeah,
No, all good.
he eats last.
I don't eat first either.
There you go. All right, so go get
You
after
used
it.
to eat
America's
first.
#1 meal kit. Yeah, go ahead, get your last shot, and then we'll hit it.
He used to eat first in the spread line after games. He was just like, "Hey, sit. You guys sit. I played." Just smashing spread, just crushing it.
Don't be first in the spread line. Kahnle knows that. Kahnle's always first. He's a hungry hippo. That's why.
That's right.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
Kahnle coming up. Tommy Kahnle, Yanks reliever, up next. All right, here we go. Tommy Kahnle, Yanks reliever, joining us right now. We're in the thick of the ALCS. Obviously, appreciate the time, Tommy. We're pumped for the next one. So I just actually want to start here. And I know the answer is probably no at this very moment, although maybe it changes after the season. Do you realize when you're a big leaguer and you're playing in the playoffs, like how much entertainment and joy you're bringing to many millions of people, and just like how much buzz is going on? I'm not even saying like looking at social media or anything. Just like, do you think about like how many people are in this ballpark right now? How many millions are watching? How you doing?
Good. What's up, Scott? Todd?
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Kratzy. Yeah, I mean, growing up as a kid, watching the playoffs, that's a big thing. And you see like what goes on outside of that. Me growing up as a diehard fan in almost every sport, I get it. So I know where the fans are at during this, this series and the other series. So it's exciting, man. I love it. I always embraced it, and especially being with New York, it's crazy. It's awesome. I love this stuff.
Tommy, you were quite a bit younger in 2017 when we went into Cleveland, and I don't know if you remember your interaction with the fans in Cleveland. Has anybody, because you've aged, so all those fans that interacted with you, for everybody who, well, actually, first of all, you tell us what happened in 2017 in the bullpen with some fans.
There's I mean, we can go multiple incidents if you want to go. Cleveland's a fun bullpen, man. I mean, you got the fans, they're right on top of you. It's a stacked bullpen up in right center. So there's always drunk fans that come by and just start yapping and saying just dumb stuff all the time. So always just one fan. He's got like a Hulk hand.
Wait, it got choppy, Tommy. Hold on.
You're breaking up, Tommy. Why don't we?
I want to hear this. I heard. Wait,
yeah, we want to rehear this story. You got that minor league
quick
Wi-Fi
refresh
in the hotel.
Yeah, quick refresh, Tommy, because I want to. I mean, you had me at Hulk hand.
Hulk hand was nice.
And I don't know if he said it or not, but it was at the beginning of the game when we got into the bullpen in Game 5. So I don't know if that's the story he's telling, but in 2017 we went back to Cleveland, and he gets into the bullpen because we all get down there super early. I'm just down there with my sweatshirt on and ready to do nothing and just cheer the boys on. And Tommy was in tip-top Tommy shape, and we were already up 2-0 because that's when Didi hit the 2-run dinger.
6 Red Bulls deep too, probably.
Oh, all the Red Bulls. All the Red Bulls.
All right, we're back.
Here we are. All right, so we lost you at Hulk
hand, but switched out
if
some internet. So
yeah,
quickly switch some internet. Yeah, so Hulk hand guy, I'm yelling at him, and I think this was all series, right, Kratzy? It's all series. I feel like me and this guy were jawing back and forth. I couldn't take him anymore. And then I know I'm trying to think, was it Game 5, right?
Yep.
Where I really took off. I'm trying to remember I don't remember the exact moment. I know we took the lead, and I just started yelling at every fan saying, "Go home, go home. You're going home. Little do they know, yeah. And a couple innings later, they were going home, and I was yelling at them. I think I double birded the guy as as I was running down those steps. There's a lot of steps down that bullpen, running down it, and double burden everywhere, saying go home. The place was silent. Running past their bullpen, same thing. Didn't care, not one bit. Full ruthless. Ruthless.
You were definitely full ruthless, but Didi hit the 2-run homer, and we're down in the bullpen, and the guy's been yelling at you the whole time, and you double birded him, and then you go, come on down here. And then Tommy starts jumping. The wall's too high to, like, jump up and hang and pull yourself up. Tommy's, like, jumping up to be like, yeah, like, trying to get as close as he can to him. And then exactly right. The same dude, I thought he was hammered in the first inning when Didi hit the homer. He was still there at the end of the game, and you were like, yeah, baby, yeah, go home, as you're running down the steps in the night.
Oh, yeah, entire crowd. Oh, yeah,
That's Tommy, baby. I love it.
Yeah, did you see all your friends now? Because, I mean, now, you might have some guys that, are back, right? They might look a little older, a little less hair. But you got some buddies that are back this time around?
I think I noticed the guy again. I think he's still there. No Hulk hand this time. It looks like the guy. I'm not going to lie.
He's a little more quieter now.
Same dude. Yeah, he is.
Tommy, let me ask you this, dude. You've been a part of some unbelievable playoff games and series with the Yankees. Talk a little bit about this yesterday. I have a two-part question. Talking about where you put that game. I know you guys didn't win. It was a crazy battle at the end there. This is why baseball is the best sport. Talk about where you would rank that game with the back and forth and how incredible it was, considering how many you've been in.
It seems that every time we play Cleveland, there's some kind of crazy playoff game. I think that's got to be – I've been a part of two series with them. Yeah, I wasn't there for the wild card series in 20, but I know we had a wild one then too. It just seems every time we play Cleveland in the playoffs, there's going to be some crazy games. The Lindor one stands out, the Grand Slam, but I mean we lost that one too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Down the line. Oh man, there's some crazy.
Do you ever sit back and reflect, like, you've been a part of some unbelievable Yankee playoff games? Have you, like, even reflected of what you've been a part of? And you've been a main part of, holding games and saving games. Like, have you ever just wake up in the morning, like, you're eating your eggs and 3 Red Bulls, and you're just like, this has been absolutely a crazy-ass ride,
I mean, there's times I would say for sure, you're sitting there and you're just kind of like, what the heck is been in some crazy games, but I mean, it's more once people start bringing it up, you start reflecting more. I mean, there are times where, maybe I'm watching like a playoff game or something and kind of hits me, but I would say mostly when you're like talking about it, you're sitting there with the guys and they're asking questions and stuff. But it was, I mean, last night's game, that is, oh man, I guess it's gotta be one. I mean, I haven't been in too many playoff games, but I mean, you gotta put that top 5 probably.
No doubt,
for sure. I mean, you got that, the Lindor one I was talking about. We had the crazy one with Judge against Bauer, and then obviously a couple Houston games we had that were pretty monumental. So. I'll throw it in the top 5 that I've had playoff games.
Tommy, you've been in 23 playoff games. That's a lot of playoff games.
Well,
that's how many games you've pitched in.
I've seen a lot. I'm trying to think. It's hard to remember
a lot of them. That's okay. I believe that. So I want to take you down to the bullpen where you're forgetting a lot of things. First of all, we talked about it yesterday. It's kind of a 2-part John here. About Rizzo calling down in the 4th inning. How does that make your heart feel? Because it's more of like an instant reaction when Rizzo calls down in the fourth. Are you to the point now where you're like, this really doesn't mean anything?
So it depends on the situation. Sometimes he would call with no feel, and it would be a situation kind of like where it's, there might be a phone call here. So that kind of gets everybody riled up and a little pissed off. But for the most part, we know he's just calling to be an idiot. So it's just, the fun games that we play back and forth. So it's lighthearted and fun for the most part.
All right. So the other day, John Sterling said, well, that's the Yankees being the Yankees, running the base like they're drunks, is what John Sterling said. Are the same things said? Because I've heard what Harkey says in the bullpen about position players, about pop-ups, about ground balls, all that stuff. Are those things talked about in the bullpen? And what are some of the funny comments when you see some of the Yankees hitters running around with their invisible cloaks on?
The invisible cloaks. Oh, I can't. I will say some things are said. I'm not going to get into specifics, but the bullpen, it's like Vegas. We say what stays in the bullpen, what's said in the bullpen stays in the bullpen. Scratch, you've been down there. You've seen it.
I've seen it. I've heard it. Harkey's got some specials, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it that. It's some good stuff. Some of the position players have come down and seen it. I don't think they like it, but
they wouldn't. That's okay. It's not their place. It's not their place.
No, it's not. It's not meant for them.
Yeah, you gotta have thick skin. It's not for everyone. I know that. Hearing the stories from Kratz. All right, so a question for you from yesterday. One, do you like your changeup a little extra in the playoffs? And two, do you feel like you got squeezed at all a little bit? Like, what do you think of the zone?
I mean, for the most part, I want to say he was pretty good. I mean, I felt like there was a couple pitches that I probably could have gotten, but overall, I think the guy. I mean, I don't know any umpires. I'm not gonna lie. I think I know.
Was it Dan Iasonia?
But I felt like he was pretty good for the most part. I maybe missed a couple calls, but overall, I mean, it's the umpires. That's just the human element of the game. I'm always going to be a big proponent for that one, but hey, it's all part of the game, and that's why we play it.
And what about that changeup?
Oh yeah,
you're like Lance McCullers from 2017. Just hey,
yeah.
How about it?
Summer.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the most I've thrown in a game for sure. I think I had another outing. I actually was in the playoffs in 17. I think I threw like 18 straight. So that's gotta break that one, right?
Yeah, I don't think he threw any.
Yeah.
Did he throw any?
Yep. Oh yeah, threw all changeups. I think it was 26.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Were all the buttons every time you heard it? Were you like, because you're doing the pitch com thing? Were you like, did we reprogram all the buttons? Like, I'm not hearing the pitch com here. What's change up?
Last night, I think, last night, I will say this: there are days where it drives me crazy, and if I hear that over and over again, I start losing my mind on the mound. But yesterday, I was feeling it, so I wasn't gonna shake or anything. I felt good about it.
What's a day like for you today? Come off a loss. You guys are still up 2-1 in the series. What's a day like for you? What are you having for breakfast? What time you get into the field? And I know you threw 26 pitches. You still think you got some in the tank?
So I think, yeah. I mean, 26 should be like a walk in the park, right?
Yeah,
Back in my White Sox days, you threw 26. You better be up the next day. So I definitely, I'm going to tell him I'm good to go today. I feel good. I woke up, probably somewhere in the 10:30-ish, 10:30 but I was snoozing the alarm till about 11. So every time it comes off at 10 minutes, you're just like, come on, just stop.
Ridiculous.
So eventually got up, about 15 minutes went by, we're staying right where there's a Dunkin'. So walked outside, went inside, downstairs, couple escalators, got my big, large Dunkin'. Now I'm here. I was playing with Madden 25 for a little bit, and now I'm doing this, getting ready for the
Love it.
game.
Living good.
After this, I'll probably go get another coffee and walk over to the ballpark.
Shocker. Playoff
Oh, yeah.
caffeine. Shocker.
Oh yeah.
They don't have the same pills anymore. You can't get those pills. We always talk about the Tommy Kahnle pills. But
the TKs, yeah.
When the phone rings and Weaver's going into that game, he's got a 2-run lead. What is the feeling for you as a reliever? You're in the dugout already. For you, if you're sitting in the bullpen, or since you were in the dugout already, or maybe you're up in the training room already killing spread. What is that feeling when you see him go in that game and you got a 2-run lead and you're like, what? How are you feeling?
Obviously I'm feeling, pretty confident that, he's coming in and this game's over. So, yesterday, obviously the game was a shock, man. You got Weave coming in, everybody. I know all of us thinking this game's over, but it's baseball. Things happen, and you can't control. And there you go, tie ball game, and then obviously Clay for the 10th, and another just those final 3 innings were you had a lot of ups and downs. Not gonna lie, and then when after the battle to come back, take the lead, it was definitely shocking, obviously, to lose that game. And, you look at it like, yeah, we could have been up 3-0, but you look at it now, we're still up 2-1. So, you got to go into today and, take one game at a time. Today's big. So we're going to go in, all the focus is on today. So get the game today.
Does anyone say anything in the locker room after that? I know sometimes some bad losses in the regular season, some dude comes in and is like, throw the music on. Who cares? Anybody say anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody said anything specifically last night. I know a lot of us, had to look at our eyes, at first with shock, and then it's kind of like as you're leaving, you're like, you can tell it's over, and you're ready to roll. Especially on the bus, it's not like everybody's still dead quiet. But obviously, I would say the more shock was within the first 15 minutes, probably post game, somewhere in there, and when it happened, and then you're over it and you got to move on. Game 4.
Yeah, turn the page and you do it quickly. Obviously, with another one coming up. I just wanted to ask also about the other side. Right before those Cleveland homers, you had the best closer in baseball this year in terms of numbers, Manuel Clase, come on there for. To finish up the 8th, and he wasn't able to do that, obviously, with the lead. So you had Judge's AB, where he took that cutter to right, and then Giancarlo punished that slider. So what was your take on how they were able to accomplish that when you've got such a good reliever up there? And most people are watching, they're like, all right, game over. Here's the best closer. This is what you sign up for if you're Stephen Vogt and you're the manager of the Guardians. So what did you think of those ABs and their approach?
Yeah, we were super confident, still, being down 3-1. I got the vibe in the dugout. Those guys were ready. They loved it. They were like pumped that he was coming in. It seemed like. So it all started. We got the 2 outs, and then Soto's at bat was huge. That's the one that got it going, the 2-out walk. And then Judge's at bat was ridiculous. He's battling, and that one, I think it was a 1-2, he threw a cutter, and I was amazing. As soon as I saw the line drive, you're kind of like, whoa, 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 and you get that feeling. You're like, that might be gone, and I think it did it clip right over the top?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, it was that was amazing. And dugout was fired up when we saw that, and then obviously Big G next, and another unbelievable at bat, and just hit an absolute rocket. So the emotions were awesome, man. I have never seen anything like that before in the dugout. Back to back, just like that, and take the lead off best closer all year. So best reliever. It was incredible to watch. It it was one hell of a situation and just part of the ball game that was incredible to be a part of. And then obviously me, I had to stay locked in because they told me essentially if we tie or take the lead, I'm going back out. So I'm sitting there like, I gotta like stay locked in, freaking jumping up and down watching this. This is amazing. So it was a whirlwind of emotions for sure in that inning.
You just hope that Judgy doesn't hit his head on the lowest dugout in all of baseball, because those heaters are always on. You're gonna burn a spot in your head. When you watch this postseason, it's been Devin Williams, it's been Jeff Hoffman from the Phillies, it's been Edwin Diaz, it's now been Clase 3 different times, it's been Luke Weaver, it's been there is a cavalcade of bullpens that have gotten crushed. As a bullpen guy who has had awesome success, what are you seeing that is different in hitters' approaches? Because you talked about it. The bullpen was, the dugout was juiced. Maybe they had a tip on Clase. Maybe they were, they had a good, direction they were going to hit with, a good idea what they're going to do. Teams don't hit these closer or these deep end of the bullpen guys like they have in the postseason consistently. What are you seeing that's different?
Yeah, I've always said that, like, I talked to like bullpen guys, the younger guys, and I told them the way I've always felt like when you're pitching in the postseason, it almost seems as the hitters have an extra like lock focus to them, and they're a little bit more locked in. I don't know. It seems that way with everybody. Typically, it's a different ball game in the postseason compared to the regular season, and I think guys want to see more pitches, and it just seems like the more they see something, obviously the better chance you have at possibly, getting a hit or something. But it just seems that extra is kind of there, and maybe we're starting to get a little more tired. Guys are asked to do a little bit more than what they do during the regular season. So you might maybe miss a pitch here and there, and guys are making us pay for, missed pitches.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a long year, but this is what you work your butt off for. Last thing for me before we let you go, is it still cold in the Cleveland locker room? Remember how cold it is going in that locker room? Is it still like ice cubes or no?
It didn't feel like that yesterday. That's I feel like I was warm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's when we're at home in our clubhouse. Every time I come out of the shower, I feel like I'm freezing.
Oh, freezing. Yeah. I didn't know if they made it extra cold, to try and get you guys off your game a little bit. The small little tactics. I know you do.
I love the cold.
and Notre Dame, I think they're losing tomorrow against Georgia Tech.
Tomorrow.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm sorry. I saw the shirt you got on there. I'm just being, hey, listen, 10-point underdogs, G Tech by 3. I'm calling it right now.
Georgia Tech's 10-point underdog?
Yeah. We'll see.
Wow. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Either dinner's on Todd or not. He'll be calling us.
Yeah. Did you bring your helmet? You bring your helmet or no?
No, I didn't. I should have. I knew it.
That's all right.
I'm gonna have to start bringing it now.
Go out there and win game 4 here. Let's go, baby.
You know it, guys. That's what we're hoping
Appreciate you. Yeah, Tommy, thanks for the time, obviously, for swinging by. Keep doing your thing and have fun.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Always on here.
Thank you.
Todd,
good luck.
Got it.
See you.
Love that. Great combo.
No, he's solid.
Yeah,
and that's
fun.
Now, it's 1:30 over there too, right, Cleveland?
Yes.
All right, we've talked about that, so he better get his butt over there like ASAP. Let's go. I'd be nervous as all heck right now, not knowing that I'm going to be at the game 3 hours before. I'm a 6-hour guy, man. I don't know, 5.5, 6 hours.
But his game's at 8.
No,
you're right. Why do I keep thinking it's at 5 o'clock?
If this was the early, this would be a different.
You're right.
Case.
I take it back.
He would not be there.
I take it back.
But he's good. He's got plenty. He's like he mentioned. He went.
They were at 5 though yesterday, though.
They were the 5 yesterday. Yeah. Now they're back to Yankees prime time. Oh my God. So yeah, you do the breakfast, the video games, the hangout, talk to us for 15, and then so if it's 1:40 there, what's the bus schedule like for this 8 o'clocker? Because you have 2, right? The early to late.
First one's probably in the playoffs. First one's probably like 12. Then they probably run
guys that need extra work.
Yeah, probably run every 45 minutes.
But I heard they're standing pretty much across the street, so that's
so he just walks.
he can walk right on over.
I doubt you're walking in Cleveland. I doubt you're walking to the stadium in Cleveland.
I did.
Yeah? When we stayed at the casino, by the casino?
I did one time. It's a good little walk. It's not the worst walk. It's a good little walk.
In the playoffs, I don't know that we're walking to the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Well, for you, everybody knows you, man. So it's tough.
Wait, why? Are you worried? What are you worried
I don't
about?
know what he's acting like he's like King Tut over there.
Also, like someone's gonna mess with him. I'd be
I
like,
know the big Bowser
let's
over
pick
there.
someone else to pick on here.
the big Lebowski.
It's a 5-minute walk.
I can walk. I can walk.
7 to 10 minute walk.
You're saying Todd needs to be carried there on a pillow?
No.
Todd has a whole. Yeah, he's the Sultan.
I'd be walking with Kratz. That's the thing.
Well, that's actually a good idea.
Holding his hand.
Kratz, they're like, people would go, look at Todd Frazier. He's got a bodyguard now.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd be like, this is Harky right here walking with me.
I saw that guy on Springer. He beat the crap out of someone.
Me and Todd hung out in 2017 postseason.
All the time.
Did you say you were his bodyguard?
Never.
I said I was his assistant.
To the assistant.
Yeah, I'd be like, Todd doesn't sign. I signed for him.
All right.
Here we go. Jensen Lewis joining us right now, former Cleveland player. Can you say former Cleveland Indian? I mean, that's what they were called back then, so I'll say it. Current Guardians analyst joining us, and we're coming off, obviously, one of the best games we've seen all year. So, Jensen, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the time, dude. We just talked to Kahnle, so we got the Yankees perspective. Now let's get the Cleveland side of things, because it was probably a little more fun for that fan base. What did you think of yesterday?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Scott. And surreal still to wake up today and realize that it all happened. And I think the only thing I go back to was doing it as a player, as a member of the 07 Cleveland Indian team that beat the Yankees, and that's when Travis Hafner walked us off in the 10th inning there. And that was 45,000 capacity at then Jacobs Field, and it was like a seismic event. Hearing the fans erupt the way they did. Pretty similar to what was last night, and just 3 innings of the biggest emotional pendulum swing I think I've seen as a fan. And just to try and go from, okay, we're a strike away from getting Judge and being 3 outs away from getting the win, to Judge hitting a 99-mile-an-hour cutter to the opposite field, and then Stanton hitting the slider. In that span of maybe 5 minutes, it felt as though that was the dagger. And I think the way that this club was able to rally and come off the deck, and I mean, you guys know, Kratzy and Todd, you guys know that when you're in a slump hitting wise, like it feels like facing anybody is going to be an uphill challenge. So to see what Noel did, and don't forget Lane Thomas's at bat down to 2 strikes, getting the double and setting the stage. I mean, Noel had no homers since the end of August, and he hits the biggest one of his life.
He's a monster, though. He's a huge dude. So, you know what I was thinking about, Jensen, after all the pitch breakdowns and just the moment, was I try and take a global perspective, because we're on for hours every day doing shows on a national basis, right, covering the sport. And the story on Cleveland, especially this year, obviously, is one of the nastier bullpens. Of course, Class A was best closer in baseball this year, comes in and blows the game. Then you have a team that has had some offensive struggles in the past, not as much this year, although the second half was not like the first. And you're like, when's Cleveland going to get pop? When are they going to get outfielders with pop? And to me, like, it's Big Christmas. That's actually the guy that you haven't seen much of in Cleveland over the past several years. Ramirez in a different category, but you know what I'm talking about. That big, hulking slugger who could hit 40 if things go right, could have a hole in his swing, but could be what he was yesterday. Do you think about how maybe Cleveland is finding players like that a little bit more often, maybe?
Yeah, Scott, I think the analogy up here was, could he be the modern day Albert Bell from what that guy was in the middle of many Indians lineups for years? And, with Noel, I think it was also the organization this offseason saying, we're going to take chances on guys that we've developed. And, for all intents and purposes, Kyle Manzardo had earned an opportunity to make the 26-man out of camp. he finally finds his way up here, with an injury to Naylor and gets an opportunity to play every day. But I also believe that this system now for the last 5 years has figured something out on the position player side. For years, we've known we can develop as far as the pitching goes. But they've found something, and of course, the Stephen Kwans of the world, Will Brennan, and now Noel, and getting power guys to come up. Rocchio has really taken such a large stride offensively at the second half of the season all the way through the postseason. They've found a way to develop from within, and I think they'll look to augment that whenever the season ends, and I hope it's the parade in November, but I think they'll look to take this momentum into the offseason and further evaluate if there are resources outside to bring in.
I gotta kick back against something you said. They figured out how to figure out or find position players, but you said they've always been able to figure out finding pitching. They've only ever created starting pitching. For a while, they would always go out and get bullpen guys. Besides Cody Allen, it was guys they picked up. Have they changed their algorithm? Because I saw the algorithm of what it takes for you to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues for the Cleveland Indians when I was there in 2017, and it was always starting pitchers, and they never really hit on too many bullpen guys. Have they flipped that script since Ruben Niebla, who was the pitching coordinator with the Indians at the time, when he went to the Padres, so that now they're finding bullpen guys? Or is this just they threw a lot of darts at the dartboard and found the best bullpen ever?
Yeah, Erik, honestly, in my tenure there, and Ruben was one of my pitching coaches coming up in AAA, and of course had the great Carl Willis at the big league level there for a couple of seasons. We actually, on that team, and for the better part of the end of the 2000s, had a lot of homegrown bullpen guys. And I'm one of the failed starters that ended up transitioning, to a reliever in the minor leagues and ended up making it. So a shout out Andrew Chafin there, because we all tried the starting gig at one point, and the big leagues or the upper levels of the minor leagues will humble you. I think, Erik, to address kind of where they were in the 2010s and knowing what Matt Blake and Ruben Niebla were able to cultivate, there are a lot of guys that just had two pitches and tried the starting route and it wasn't successful. But I think a lot now in our day of elevated average fastball velocity, a lot higher spin rates of secondary pitches, and also knowing that you're trying to achieve as much with being really, really solid and really good with two elite pitches. And if you get a third, that's great. Case in point, Hunter Gaddis was a starter, did not do really well at the big league level, had gone back and forth. When they asked him to transition, he was primarily fastball changeup. He's added a slider here in the second half and has just become an absolute beast. I think the same can be said for Trevor Stephan, came over from the Yankees. They felt that he'd be better suited to the back end of the bullpen. So I agree with you. It's kind of been a compromise where they've done everything they can to do as many homegrown starting pitchers, because we know that's an incredibly expensive asset outside the organization via free agency. And I think they've really found a way to have a couple of these guys be able to take hold, embrace the role, and do quite well specifically this year.
Talking a little bit, excuse me, about the bullpen. Manuel Clase just had a nice little Instagram post there showing all his accolades and his rings and what have you. Let me ask you a question. Guys, he's the best closer in baseball, the best reliever in baseball this year, without doubt. You think it's getting to his head a little bit, or is it just something he just like, hey, listen, just want to let everybody know who you're dealing with. That's all.
Todd, I'm sure all of us at one point went back to the video room and looked at the tapes and we're like, all right, I remember punching out Jeter and A-Rod, or I remember homering off of Clemens and Schilling and Pedro. You go back through the years and we're all creatures of habit as far as where our mental mindsets are, getting us back into a frame where we feel confident in our ability. I go back to just the division series, guys. When you look at the slider, his second worst he's thrown all year, and it goes for a 3-run homer off the bat of Kerry Carpenter. Something flipped those next couple of outings, and he was back to the menace that he was the entirety of the regular season. And to be fair, the Yankees have had a really good approach. They don't chase, as you guys know, and I think only Shohei Ohtani's the other guy that could have hit that cutter that Judge hit, out of the stadium. I mean, it's just a superhuman effort, and that's what you pay Judge to do. So I think where I would lay my head at night is I would want the pitch to Stanton back. I would want the slider back. And then if I get beat with 102, so be it. That's my A-plus stuff,
Yep.
And that's what that guy's paid to do. So I think he goes with the video, to kind of bring it all home here. Hey, boys, just remember, I've been pretty damn good for the last 3 to
Yeah.
4 years, and maybe that's his own individual way of. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll be back, and I think he'll be raring to go tonight.
Any worries about tipping? I mean, he didn't come back out for that game. He didn't come back out for the next inning. Is there any talk about tipping? Because that's what everyone goes to. Oh, he gives up a home run, he must be tipping. To me, I saw the approach. Hey, everything is going to go away from me as a right-hander. I'm staying that direction. But is there anything of tipping? Anything that you've heard or even rumored?
Not really, Eric, and I'll kind of answer it two ways. The first one, just kind of a pitch evaluation standpoint. Was he convicted in the pitch? If that answer is yes, then go to pitch execution. Did he execute it where he wanted to? I think we all can agree that that's a blatant no. And that's why I think tonight you kind of see with Stephen Vogt electing to not run him back out there, knowing he may have to go 3 days in a row. I think that was probably more the idea. I've gone back and looked at some of the video, and to me, it is really similar to not executing the way that he did with the mistake to Kerry Carpenter. So I think we watch maybe a little more tonight. I think the pitch that Judge hit out is just that is just a baller. That's what stars do. And you look at the location of where it was, it's a great pitch. You tip your cap. But I think the mistake to Stanton is the one he'd want to have back. But to this point, Eric, I have yet to hear anything or see anything that would lend me to any worry about tipping.
Jensen, we got a fan question, comment, and a lot going on in our chat right now. So the question here is, it said, Jose told Noel before he went up to remember how Luke Weaver pitched him in the previous game. Jose took a changeup deep, told Noel to sit on it. Your thoughts?
It looked pretty much like that's the one space and part of the plate and speed he was looking at, Scott, because this was an absolute demolition of a baseball. And that's why I kind of brought up the numbers, early in our talk here, that you're looking statistically at it and saying, Stephen Vogt's usually tried to create, a left on right or a right on left. And to me, there had to be something or perhaps a conversation, in the dugout to say, listen, he's our best bullet, man. He's our best chance right now with what we've got to try and turn something around. And that swing path too, he has really, really loved pitches down and especially in, and he's quick enough there, even with velocity, that if it was a heater, I still think he could have done some damage. But I'll take it, man. I mean, that, again, kind of how we talked about Clase, like if you're Weaver, is that the one place you didn't want to miss, especially against him? Maybe an elevated fastball where we've seen Noel as a young hitter chase, and then maybe down and away, something to get him to expand his zone. Boy, I would want that back if I was Weaver too, because you look at that spot, knowing where you are, and a guy who has struggled so mightily, I would never have wanted to speed up his bat and give him any chance to make hard contact.
He's got platinum on his glove, but can you talk a little bit about the two plays that Andres Jimenez made last night? Like, I feel like that's getting lost in all this David Fry homer, Big Christmas homer, because they were elite plays. I know J Ram screwed up the rundown, the pickle play, but can you talk about Andres Jimenez, those plays, but also just what he brings at an elite level?
Yeah, Eric, he's the guy you want the ball hit to in a big spot. And let's not forget Josh Naylor, that basically by the length of his spike, being able to maintain contact with a throw that kind of took his momentum away from first base with the runner bearing down. So that's a total effort from both guys right there. When the rule change happened, fellas, and you had to start with both feet on the dirt, I wondered where range would be for a lot of other players. I never worried about Andres Jimenez, a shortstop by trade, but man, has he made it look so easy. And even the elite plays, guys, he's making it look routine. That was anything but a routine play last night, and especially in that spot. If that throw carries a little bit more, that inning probably spirals out of control, even more so than what it looked like it could have. And so I think you appreciate not only the range from Hemi, but I think you appreciate the athleticism that old big Josh Naylor had there, because without him maintaining contact, I think that inning really could have gotten out of hand.
I think Jimenez, he did. He led all players in outs above average, which is my personal favorite defensive stat. So he is certainly living up to it. That's crazy. Good for him. I mean, awesome, dude. We had him on a ton over the last year, too. So really nice, really humble guy, getting the job done. You know, even when the bat gets cold sometimes for him, the glove is insane at second base, which is a huge weapon. Okay, I want to finish with this on off topic here from the series, just because we have you on and the news happened, a week and a half ago. What do you think of Tito Francona popping up with the Cincinnati Reds? What are people saying about it?
Quick retirement, Scotty. And, I know it's not a real big thing nationally, but the Ohio Cup all of a sudden took a little bit more importance, if you will. I'm obviously kidding on that. But, yeah, I think he wouldn't have taken the job unless, A, he knew his health was in a spot where you could handle the day-to-day. And that was really as big a reason as any of him having to step down here in Cleveland. The guy lives, eats, and breathes it. You guys have seen him plenty. Todd, you know that clubhouse and that mantra down there and that culture. I think he's going to vastly improve from day one. The old stories about him just like being up till the wee hours of the morning trying to figure out what to say on day one of spring training because he wanted to get it right. And he really makes everyone believe that, yeah, you may not make the 26-man, but we might use every single one of you. So be ready. And I think he'll instill an urgency to want to win now and play the game in a manner of what he did in year one. Guys, go back to 2013, his first year in Cleveland. They ran off 10 in a row to finish the year to get into that wild card game. It was instant gratification, and I think Reds fans should be very excited for 2025.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a team that has tons of talent. So hopefully we'll see what happens with them. Hopefully we got both teams rocking in Cleveland. I would like that. All right. In Ohio, I should say. Jensen, awesome to have you on. Enjoy the next one. Okay. I don't know how it'll top that, but it'll be fun. So enjoy it out there. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Give Jensen a follow if you don't already. We'll post these clips. Check them on Sirius, on MLB Network Radio. He's on the Guardians pre and post all season long too. Thank you, Jensen.
Thanks, guys.
Did you guys see this? So Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were at 2 games ago in New York. Obviously, they showed them on the screen 9,000 times. Cool, great. So he wrote, "Playoff baseball, baby." This was yesterday. "Guardians have the city rocking tonight. What a game." And then apparently there were a bunch of posts out there showing a tweet of his, I think from like 2010, that got taken down with him saying, "Oh, damn, my Yanks lost." So people are like, "Hey, you're a phony." And then so he followed up and said, "I've been a Cleveland sports fan my entire life, make it back to countless amounts of games over the years, both Guards and Caps, just to enjoy these memories with my friends and family, win or lose. And I don't wear Cleveland gear one time." Oh, for the first pitch or no, when he was in New York. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm not a real fan. Ask anybody that was in or around that suite on game one who I was cheering for. They'll let you know I was there for the Guardians. So he's clarifying he's a Guardians fan. Also, I mean, I don't really care. Great. I know people were freaking out. I don't care. I know. I mean, I don't know. This stuff's not for me. Like I'm saying, like, cool, like amazing player, whatever. Like he liked the Yanks in 2010. Even if he did more, I don't care. Or he had a favorite player on there. He liked both.
All we know is he's just got to be a Cleveland fan for the rest of his life now. So yeah, that's it.
And he's from Cleveland. He is from Cleveland.
Oh well, whether he was or not, which I think he was. He's got to rep him a little bit more too.
That's what Cleveland fans want.
Yeah, that's all. They're like, show Cleveland a little.
We want you to wear Guardians gear.
Don't just go with the trend.
Like
go with what you love.
Hey, he's like Todd. He can't figure out which team he's going to cheer for because he's like,
Reds,
yo,
Yankees.
All my New York fans, all my Yankee fans. What's up? Yo, go Mets up. OMG. Oh, Southsiders, what's up, yo? Hey.
There we go. I like that last one. The last one was sweet.
Southside. And Cincinnati, man. I mean, they love Todd around this area.
I got respect for everybody.
They really love you in Cincinnati.
I'm thinking about running for, governor maybe in New Jersey. I got to be respectable everywhere I go.
Oh, you'd probably win in Jersey. Cincinnati, to me, yeah. I mean, you see Todd around this area for sure, and people are like, "Oh, no, known you since you're a kid," blah blah blah. But in Cincinnati, you get a lot of the, "Hey, we haven't had many good moments, but that moment,
yeah,
that's what you get." Like it's different, where they're like, "We didn't get a lot of good ball for a while, but we had that one,
some love.
That derby, man."
I love the Natty, absolutely love it.
Oh, and our director wanted us to let everyone know that 20 years ago to the day, the Yankees got walked off in extras in the ALCS on a 2-run homer by a David.
Who?
David Ortiz.
Hot corner.
Let's sizzle, okay? So some of you are here for the NLCS, and now we're going to bring it to you in the second hour. So the Dodgers won big again against the Metropolitans, and you get all those entertaining crowd shots the last few innings where fans are just buried in their hands.
Why are they still there? It was frozen, man.
It was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah. Well, you pay a lot of money for that ticket, and you're hoping for a comeback.
Yeah.
Up until the Mookie homer. Then you're like, all right. And then, hey, I got to give credit to, what's his name, Danny Young, who cleaned up the last couple innings there. Because I'm watching with my dad last night, and he's like, what are you doing? Take him out. I'm like, do not take him out. I don't care if it's 15-2. I don't want to see a single soul that is going to pitch in tomorrow's game appear. And he's like, why? Because they can't do another day tomorrow. I'm like, I don't even care about that. Zero exposure, as Kratz always says. Zero. That game is over. I only want to see someone that is filling out the garbage innings. That's it. And they did that. But anyway, going back to the entire game itself, Kratz, what'd you think of the Dodgers offense just slugging the crap out of the ball?
Before I hit on the Dodgers offense, the Mets had a shot. It was 7-2 even after that dinger, and they got the bases loaded. Anytime you're within, slam range, then it got out of hand. Then I get it after you clear the bases there, but the Dodgers lineup, oh my goodness. What are we talking about? Mookie? Like he just what did he take? Like the first 300-400 swings the one night?
500.
He's like, I don't know
500 swings.
Yeah.
500. Oh my God.
And this guy, we can't even really talk about this guy. It's just there's no words to explain what he does because we haven't seen the stuff that he's doing. He hits a dinger first at bat, setting a tone, whatever. Mookie comes up. I think he had 4 hits, and then you go, he triple shy of the cycle, which isn't even really close because the triple's the toughest one. But he has 10 RBIs in the postseason already. Like because Shohei's just going to get pitched around. Then Mookie's like, all right, well then do that, and I'll just swing it. Maton right now, that's to me the biggest thing. If the Mets are coming back in, they lost a guy. They lost Maton in this series. He is not. They have something on him. They're catching him out front. And he succeeds when guys try to catch him out front because everything is going away from right-handed hitters. He's able to throw that cutter, which they swing under because they think it's the slider. Then the slider, they're swinging over. They're catching everything out front. To me, that's just one less bullpen piece, and they have to try to figure it out between Reed Garrett, Stanek, and Edwin Diaz. So they need a lot out of Peterson tonight.
I remember talking to somebody too, like, oh man, maybe they should move Ohtani out of the first hole so he can, get on with hit with more runners on. Come on, bro. This guy is off the charts. I want to talk about the first homer I hit at Shea City Field. I was there. He hit the ball over the foul pole. And I'm telling you, it was the highest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how you pitch the guy. He's seeing every pitch right now. If it's a ball out of zone, I might have seen him swing at 2 balls that were out of the zone this whole time. And it's just, you might as well just go like this every time he gets up.
Or just ask, here's what I would do. I'd go up to Sean Manaea and be like, listen, dude, you've been in the league for a while. You've made some good money. What if we just give you an extension right now and you just pitch every inning the rest of the series?
Yeah, they're going to need that. Well, they got Dave Peterson as well.
No, I know.
Listen.
Although I think he smoked a double off Peterson. Ohtani did. Ohtani's a different story. You got to really
single off the wall.
That was a single. Okay. But it was hard off the bat. I mean, he clocked it. Yeah.
So these bullpen games that they do throw, they got to win these games. They got to win these games. And you got Peterson, you got Manaea, and then it's a flip of a coin of who's going to win. So I do like on paper, I do like the Mets' chances just on pitching alone, on paper. But you can't – good pitching always beats good hitting, but they are raking right now. And they're doing it in New York, and the crowd is out of it right from Jump Street. I mean, Vientos is the only guy for me that's stepping up to the plate, and he's a young buck with some shiny shoes out there, going out there and playing the game. So kudos to him. But, yeah, this is going to be an epic comeback if they make it.
They didn't even have Freddie yesterday.
I know.
Freddie sat. You got the lefty. He's so banged up. All right, we'll give him a day. No big deal. Look at the runners in scoring position difference during the NLCS. The Dodgers are 16 for 48, 333, and their slugging percentage with RISP is 542. That's a 942 OPS total. The Mets are 4 for 29, 278 slug, 541 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference right there. And that actually happened quite a bit last time around, too. The Mets won the series against the Phillies, but what was it? What was the Quintana game? Was that the clincher? Game 4 or 5? When Quintana pitched and it was against Ranger Suarez, game 4. I mean, oh my gosh. They were traffic every freaking inning against Ranger, and he just kept shutting them down. I mean, that's where you have to deliver. You have to come through in those big spots. There's too many times with the Mets. It's not like they look completely defeated in every AB. Like, there's some quality ABs they're putting together.
I think Nimmo's going through some stuff. I've heard he's got like Flasher fanitis.
He does. Yeah.
Flasher fan. How do you even
Plantar
fasciitis. You could see, and he even beat that ball out, man. That's actually pretty gutsy of him on that double play. So nobody's 100%, but again, when you get hot, you just keep on rolling. And the Mets were hot at once. They definitely were, but fizzle a little bit.
Yeah.
So what has to happen here? Because in my mind, all right, spinning it forward, Sean Manaea is by far their best pitcher.
Yeah.
Right now. Right?
But you got to win 3 games, so it doesn't matter what game he throws.
But my thing is, so he's throwing game 6.
Yep.
Anything can happen in a game 7, as we always say, right? So I feel good if I'm a Mets fan, and if you're on the Mets, right, and you're Mendy and you're thinking about game 6, you're like, all right, if we're going to go down with our best guy this year, who's mini Chris Sale now, fine. You got to figure out how you're going to win game 5, though, when the offense is clicking on all cylinders. You're gonna have Peterson, but you're gonna also probably piece things together. I don't know how much length they're gonna give him. I don't know if Senga is going to actually appear in this game or not. They say that he's available and could be used in this game.
I think that's where they made the mistake too, in my opinion.
But he looked okay the first time.
Well,
I know he gave up the one home. He looked okay.
To me, it was false hope. I mean, he gave up the home run.
Yeah.
And then he pitched 2 innings, I think it was, and looked pretty good. I don't know. That's just something. When he came out and couldn't throw a strike, I'm like, oh man, this is you got to find a way. Let him hit the ball, and then eventually they did. But yeah, that was the one mistake in my opinion. The Mets, they got excited about, and like, oh, we're going after. He's our guy. Let's go. But looking back on it's hindsight 2020. Looking back, so it is what it is.
It's interesting that they're going with not Senga to start. Like, to me, I would have thought about, and maybe we'll ask Mendy when he comes on in the offseason at some point, if you know a guy, like, they definitely trust Peterson way more than they do Senga. I think that would be clear. So if Senga's available today, you don't want to bring him in a situation where, oh crap, we were looking for 2 innings from him. Now when do you go to Senga? And to me, I think his stuff plays in Citi Field. I think the Ghost Fork plays. The issue is, especially with a nasty pitch like a Ghost Fork, it's a ball. It is a ball, and the Dodgers have done an exceptional job of not swinging at balls. And another thing is the Dodgers have smashed left-handed pitching and so to be able to just like attack the zone for David Peterson, it's going to be tough. The guys that have smashed Will Smith, Mookie Betts, guys that aren't afraid to get singles on the ground, David Peterson is a ground ball pitcher. That doesn't mean it's ground ball outs. It's not a lot of punch outs. So it's an interesting decision. And I think, he's had a good year. He's earned it. But I also thought they would maybe go Senga and just let him go until he shows any sign. He might only face 3 hitters to start the game. But to me, then you get the opportunity to bring Peterson in and let him ride it out longer because I think you trust him more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were not biting at Quintana's game.
No.
Yesterday. They felt good about what they were throwing out there. So lastly, I mean, because we have the lineup already, this is the game that's popping up a few hours after this show ends. You've got Jesse Winker back in there. He's DHing. Jeff McNeil playing second base, batting 8th.
All right.
Over Jose Iglesias. My thing for this series, was, where is Jesse Winker? I'm like, did he get in trouble? I'm like, what happened? Did we forget about him? Because he's had good at-bats for them for a while now.
Man.
Then he pops up in yesterday's game, and he's the second pinch hitter off the bench for them. They gave McNeil the first crack. And then that thing off the bat was hit pretty well. I mean, it didn't go as far maybe as it appeared when you're watching it on TV, but it still was hit pretty nicely to right. And he squared it up pretty nicely. You're seeing good at-bats from him. He disappeared the last few days. I'm like, why did we forget about Jesse Winker?
Yeah, was he injured? Like, I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not sure. What'd you say?
The split?
The last two guys that they threw, the last two guys the Dodgers threw out there, it was platoon neutral. So they felt like the guys that they had in there. I mean, Iglesias earned the spot to play. I get it. McNeil's done a lot, but Iglesias has got them some huge hits, puts together good at-bats. The platoon split was neutral with Yamamoto. And to me, Winker's their number one option off the bench. If you read the situation, McNeil's coming in to pinch hit, maybe sooner, but Winker's the number one option. You get guys on, it's going to be Winker off the bench to pinch hit, not Jeff McNeil trying to get something going off the bench.
Yeah, I understand that, but to finish it up, he did pretty well, I thought. Against the Brewers, kind of kickstarted them a little bit. Again, the hot hand. I'm always talking about the hot hand. I don't care about numbers. When it comes to playoff time, if somebody's hot, you roll with them. That's just a motto of mine, or it should be if other people's do as well.
Okay, so let's see what happens in the next one. It's elimination game. If the Mets fall, the season's done, and the Dodgers would take it in 5 without having to go to LA. If the Dodgers win tonight, Dodgers territory is happening. Alana and Clint will probably be a little toasty.
Alana, I've been hearing her comment. She thinks Dodgers just going to roll right through this whole World Series too.
Well, she said if they win this Padres series, she's like, book it. They're in the World Series so far, looking good there. But Dodger territory coming up later. I know what I'm going to say. Only if they win.
I hope our chat calls them out for that.
All right, you guys want to see this Cleveland roar that we posted that got some attention yesterday? Or really listened to it for the most part. Did you see we put this out there from outside Progressive Field after the David Fry walk-off? This guy, Pete,
oh my God, that was incredible.
Posted the video, and then we gave it credit as we do. We're very good about giving credit. We're a very respectable media company, but let's run it. That's chills. That's cool.
Yeah.
Can I not be Debbie Downer here? Because I feel like I am positive Pete on this. But no way you're hearing the bat crack. No way. That the first thing when I saw it, when we posted it, no way you're hearing the bat crack from freaking 6 buildings away. The stadium, absolutely you're hearing it. The bat crack, I feel like we kind of added that in somehow. Maybe I'm being a hater. But that place was rocking for sure.
Listen, if you heard the bat crack, that was incredible.
Come on, Todd. You know I'm not wrong.
Hey, listen, you could do anything in this rut. He hit that ball so hard that you heard. Like that was. Stop. Yeah, I mean, I give the guy credit. The video was awesome. And I think you could hear the back crack from there because the crowd was so quiet. Okay, Erik?
I just want to clarify. You're saying that the back crack was artificially added?
Yes, embellished. But they did a great job. Like I love how it goes quiet because you're getting the anticipation of the pitch. It goes quiet and then it erupts. I also saw a dude, the ball landed like 6 seats away from him was videoing. It was posted it online. I think it was on Twitter or whatever. Oh my gosh. I love crowd reactions. I could watch every one of my favorite highlights and just see the crowd reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
That's why you guys do this.
Scott agrees too. He's hit a lot of homers.
There's nothing like a crowd reaction after I broadcast a game. Here we are. Oh, we're going to get Rowdy Tellez coming in just a moment. He's going to join us.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We'll get to the other segment we had planned a little bit later on, but excited to talk to Rowdy. We'll see how up to speed he is on this little postseason that's going on right now. So we're looking forward to it. And just a reminder to everyone, because we're past the midpoint of the show. I said it at the top. I'll say it again. We're really excited about tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's Vinny P, Pasquantino. It's Brent Rooker. They're buddies. They're social media friends. I mean, obviously they've played against each other. They know each other, but also look at the smoke back there. It looks like Todd Father's coming out for Rutgers baseball.
Would
you bat?
What?
Did you bat 3, 4?
No, I let off. I let off my whole career until I got into the minor leagues.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I was the Shohei Ohtani before Shohei Ohtani, okay?
Even
Little league, intermediate, high school, college.
What was the reason for that? When obviously you're fast, but don't you want a couple ducks on the pond?
Get your best hitter up as many times as possible.
Okay,
and I live by that.
Did you play for Dave Roberts?
Hold on, wait. Somebody out here?
Yeah, we got someone at the door. All right.
right,
here we go. Rowdy Tellez joining us right now. Here he is. I was worried about the connection, but it actually looks pretty good. How you doing, man? Oh, I spoke too soon.
I'm doing good. Just hanging out here in Kratz's territory.
I was going to say, I can tell how blue the sky is. There ain't no clouds up here in PA today, so it's God's country.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Dude, relax.
Thank you. Please. Thank you.
Tell me it's not a beautiful day, okay? Tell me you're not in serene, peaceful, non-DFA territory where you're at right now.
Oh,
just relax. Just relax.
Yeah. Hey, I thought we were past that. Season's a little over, and I've been relaxed. I was in Kansas, so that's closer to God's country than where I'm at now. I was out there hunting, so I had my time.
I like that. I like that a lot.
All right, so where are we at? First off, you watching playoff games, or you're like, nah, not for me. I'm not in the playoffs, so I'm taking a break.
Oh, I don't watch baseball in season either. So no, I haven't watched a single thing of baseball.
Well, let me rip up all my questions.
I get the
Do you catch anything on? I mean,
get the alerts of the score.
Well, like I was gonna say, so like Rowdy, how into God's country are you? Like, should we tell you that Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton hit dingers off Emmanuel Clase last night, and then Big Christmas and David Fry got him back? Like, do you know about that?
Yeah. I don't know. I probably have heard it, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't really care.
That's fine. Hey, you worry about you.
Respect.
You worry about you.
We're talking about Aaron Judge homering. Shocker. It's got like 300 of them in the last 2 years, and Stanton's got close to 500. So them hitting homers is like me drinking water when I get out of bed. Just gonna happen.
Yeah, I love that.
It's auto. Auto.
So explain to us, what a day when you're back at home now, off season done, whatever. What's a day like for you, man? Are you working out? You making food for the family? What do you got going on?
I just started working out this week. I was up at my ranch in Kansas deer hunting first. I had to get my time away from reality and get to sit in the tree stand, and so I went deer hunting for a while, and then started working out, started doing Pilates, and mixing in that occasional salad, and trying to get right for next year.
I love that. Love it.
But my day in the life, but it's easy. Right. The first 2 weeks of the off seasons are easy because you're just kind of getting ready. You're trying to do a couple things, just get the wheels back under you and get going. But I tell you what, I did get tired after stretching the first day. I was a little exhausted, and then the workout started, and I didn't want to do
it. Yeah, but you end up getting into it. You gotta get through it. Take us back to when they decided to DFA you after you had the season with the Pirates, and we know you're a free agent coming into next year, so there's plenty of things going through your head. But in that moment, what were the conversations that they had with you and that you had with them, or even the feelings that you had?
it was just it kind of caught me off guard, really. But this game's a business, and those things happen. You don't want them to happen. But I can say like they didn't do anything wrong on paper, but I just felt like it was one of those things that just kind of blindsided me. I wish I was able to finish out the last 6 games with the guys and be there and say my goodbyes, but it didn't work out that way, and I ended up just going home and kind of sitting at the house and just really looking back on what could have been better for the year and what could have been changed, what could I have done better. But I think ultimately, all my teammates reached out to me and kind of expressed how they felt towards me, towards the action that happened. But there's not much you can do about it. It just sucks. It's money's money, but life will go on, and hopefully with the contract next year, and maybe we'll just add that in instead. Maybe we'll try and do incentives.
Yeah, no doubt. And I want to kind of put a button on it too. It's like, if you think about this whole situation, they said they needed to see other guys like you and me. I got released by the Pirates as well. They gave me that, I think it was 45-day contract. They said, take it or leave it. Played 19 games and they released me. I kind of knew the writing on the wall. I mean, I didn't feel like you saw the writing on the wall. I mean, they didn't even play these other guys. So that's even more frustrating to even think about it. I just don't understand, why and where they come from. Just 6 days before it was over. It's gotta be really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple things, I could have said. I could have been like, well, just give me my at-bats and then sit me, or just, or just tell me that, ahead of time, or, even just kind of sitting there and having a little bit more of a conversation. But it happened, and there was not much I can do. Like, it's just one of those where I was trying to process it too, because it did catch me off guard. I felt like I know I had a bad start, and ultimately, I mean, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror. And my start, probably I shouldn't have made it that far, to be honest. Like, could have been DFA'd, and but I think those last 3 months between June, July, and August, having a really good 3 months and contributing as much as I could, I thought maybe I could get those last 6 days, but it happened. It's part of the season, part of the game, and sometimes these things happen that these sucky things happen. They told me I'm not allowed to curse anymore, so these sucky things happen. It's what happened. So it's never fun. It isn't, but the thing is, I'm gonna wake up the next day and I have a chance to go out and do the same thing again next year and play the game that I love and move forward and try and have a better year. So maybe that doesn't happen again.
If people look at your numbers for the season, they'll be like, oh, what's he complaining about? But if you look at June, July, and August, would this have felt different if they had said, hey, you know what, we're moving on August 31st, so you can go find another team? I think there would have been countless other playoff teams that would have been like, oh yeah, we could use a first baseman. Oh yeah, we could use a guy that's hitting what you were hitting in the last 3, June, July, August. Do you feel like it would have been a different feeling had they cut you before September and you would have had a chance to latch on?
I don't know. I honestly haven't thought about that, just because I didn't really see it happening, and I really liked the guys that were around me. I think we still had a chance in the playoffs at that time. I just that's the big thing, is it really didn't. I didn't feel like it was going to happen. And, if it was going to happen, it would have happened earlier. But, you know, I mean, hindsight now, like I can say, yeah, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but would have been better off for me for my career. Yeah. But, it's just stuff that you don't anticipate happening. And then when it happens, it's kind of just all those emotions are there at once and you really just don't know what to do. So I'd never thought about that, if how I would react if it was August 31st or something like that, where I could have got a chance to play for somebody else. But at that time, I was still swinging the bat good, and I didn't think it was going anywhere. I mean, if it wasn't for the last 2 weeks in September where I decided not to show up, I mean, I thought I would have had a pretty good year considering how I bounced back from the previous 2 months.
100%. And you said about your teammates who reached out to you. What were some of the things they said, and what was their feeling on the situation?
I think a lot of them were shocked too, a little bit upset, but ultimately, I think everything that I had gotten from them was just trying to be positive and keep my head up, keep me in the right space of mind. But, I think one of the big things too was some of the younger players reaching out and just being appreciative for what I brought to the table, helping them, advice, anything I can get, even some of the guys that came up really late in September or even later, like texting me and reaching out. I've always been taught, there's a lot of things that go on the field that keep you in the game, but you always hear these clubhouse guys, and as I've gotten older, I've wanted to be more of a clubhouse guy where I like to have fun, like to mess around, but also want to be there for the young players because I think for me, I caught the tail end of the more veteran presence when I got called up and what I dealt with. I think for me, that was something that taught me about the game and taught me how to be a pro in the clubhouse, how to handle things when things aren't going right, especially when I was younger. So I just wanted to be like that, too, for those guys, somebody that can kind of keep them in line and mess with them. And, if they need to be yelled at. But at the same time, also be a guy that they're comfortable talking to in those situations. So I think a lot of that stuff was meaningful to me. The way they sent me texts about just, appreciative what I did and how much I helped them.
Yeah, Rowdy, I spoke to some people around the team. They mentioned you. They mentioned Michael Taylor, IKF down the stretch. So my question is, I mean, you guys are veteran ball players on a pretty young team. Do you think that people in your spot in the future will reconsider how they construct a contract with a team that's thinking about, incentives down the stretch to save a buck or two? Because a similar thing happened to IKF. He was a good sport about it. I know he's got another season with them, but I mean, they came to him an hour before the game, like, "Oh, oops, we forgot about your incentives. Do you want to play now?" And us sit this other guy instead. So, do you think that like vets who have a voice in the game will be like, "Hey, let's be careful about how we construct deals with certain teams because it is a business and they're not going to care"?
I don't know. I mean, I think that was my first time having an incentive-based contract and having stuff that goes along with that. So I think for me moving forward, might have to look at that a little differently. But for some teams, they don't think about that kind of stuff. I mean, I know this is a bad comp, but Todd, you might have been on the team when CC tried to hit an inning before he needed for his $500,000 bonus, and the team ended up paying it out. Just some teams, again, bad comp, CC Sabathia and the Yankees compared to a lot of things. But, there's just some people that some teams do it and don't really care about it. But, I think for me, I'll just look at it in the future as like, okay, this could be a potential thing, as it becomes closer to each time you hit one. So, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people took it and ran with it. I'll tell you that. A lot of the media outlets took it and ran with it. So, I haven't said anything publicly. I I completely understand how that stuff works. So I think, am I happy? No, but do I understand it and see the writing? Yeah, I mean that's what I signed up for. So, it's part of it. But I hope some guys can learn from it, and I know some won't. So part of the game.
Tell us the difference between the Pirates and the Brewers organization. You spent significant time with both orgs. One spends money like they don't have it. Another one spends money like they want to use it up to win. What differences did you see in how they construct a team, or just the way that they go about their daily business, good or bad?
I think the Brewers are a little bit more. They're just a little ahead of the curve compared to the Pirates. I think the Brewers are a little bit ahead of them in that front. Because honestly, and I've talked to multiple guys on the Brewers in my time there, we've come across teams when I was with the Brewers that you'd come across and like, man, they have a lot of good players. And you'd look at our team and we're just kind of like a bunch of misfits and we would beat them. I think just over there it's, I know Yelly does a good job. A lot of those guys, I grew up playing against Reese Hoskins for years. He's always been a good leader. And you have Willie. You have these guys over there that have been in the long run in the playoffs, and I think that's what it is. The biggest separation is they have guys in Milwaukee that have been down that stretch a lot. That September stretch. And I think that's what Pittsburgh doesn't have, is a lot of guys that had been down that stretch. And it's tough, especially when you're making the playoffs or trying to make the playoffs. Every single game's exhausting. You're so tired after every game because there's so much more meaning on the line. So I think that's it. They just have a little bit more veteran present, guys that have been through it a little bit more. And it's really it, because, talent on both sides. You look at Pittsburgh's pitching staff, it's arguably the top 10 pitching staff, top 5. You have some aces in there. You got some good bats. You have O'Neill, who's an unbelievable player. B-Ray, he can swing it. These guys, they have a good team. I think it's just the experience down the stretch is what got a little tired. And I think especially when we had that 10-game skid, we didn't have a ton of guys that had been in those shoes before to help out.
No, that's well said. Well, let's finish with this, because we should all give some flowers to Murph. What did you think, observing now from the outside, a full season of Pat Murphy managing the Brewers to a division title, replacing the superstar, your old boy Craig Counsell, obviously, who's he'll have better days ahead, but Kratz is smirking right now because Murph's an easy guy to root for, so it had to be cool to not just see him take over.
Hold on with the easy. Hold on with the easy. Murph had some of the best blow chirps that I've ever heard. Where you'd sit there and you'd have a good day. You'd be like one for one after with a homer and a walk, and he'd walk up to you and you'd be like, "You ever hit 2 homers in a game?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, you're probably not going to do it here." And he'd just say stuff to you, and you're like, "Oh, all right." And but I think that kind of joke right there is what kept the guys so light over there. And that's what Murph does. He keeps you on your toes at all times, but not like where you're worried. It's just like you never know what Murph's going to do. And I think that's what made him really good. I think he just keeps everybody on their toes. He's funny. He's easy to be around. He is a good dude. He's hilarious, So I think that's what made it good. But you got to talk about the other staff that they had there that made it comfortable for him. Ricky, being a former player, probably was good for the guys to be around. But Murph coached for 106 years in Division I baseball, so he's been doing it for a while. It's not like he hasn't had good players. He was at Arizona State when they were basically a major league team, major league factory. So he knows what he's doing. And being in the dugout with both him and Craig, they both bounced ideas off each other. They were always talking. Kratz, you saw it. They're both really good minds. It's just different dynamics, and I think that's something that Murph brought to the table. He can be intense too. It's kind of weird watching him be intense, because it's almost like he's trying to think too hard, and he might start having smoke come out his ears.
Yeah, it might pop a blood vessel or something.
Yeah, we can't say that. He's a little bit older. So don't want
to. Yeah, we got to keep him in one piece. You're right. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he was still
being
the same.
He's
Murph.
70 something. I don't remember how old he actually is.
He's up there.
He's not 70 something. His heart says he's 70 something, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think he's 64 or 65.
oh, okay. He's definitely taking Social
65.
Security, so there's no way he's older than that. and he's got AARP, so
He does.
He hit the number. He's 65. Well, dude, Rowdy, great catching up with you. Obviously, let's get you on when you link up with a big league club too. So we'll be talking this off season. All right. Enjoy the time away from the game for a minute, and then we'll crab you later in the season or in the off season. All right.
Yeah. I heard AJ got scared. That's why he doesn't want to be here anymore. So that's understandable.
He literally fled the country when he heard that you were coming on today. He is not even in the country.
Yeah, I mean that checks out though. He's scared. That's like he's like that. You ever seen the Grinch where Max is barking through that big thing, the big like loudspeaker, and it sounds really loud, but it's just this little dog in the background.
Yeah.
AJ.
Calling him a puppy.
I hope he signs with the White Sox. So I watch him every day. Thanks, Rowdy.
All right, we'll see ya.
See you, dude. All right, so we're back for a sec. I'll do like a very mini "That's What He Said" just within the break for the bonus YouTube crowd here right now. I liked this quote post game. Most of the post game quotes from the Mets. Hey, we've been resilient all year. It's all true, right?
Yeah.
They said what you say. I mean, it's kind of autopilot when you're in the clubhouse right after the game on playoffs. Pete just throws in the lines that are so good. The one word I can think of to describe the 2024 Mets, other than grimace, is resiliency. That's just who we are. I just love when he throws that stuff in there. He's so good.
Win the day.
Yeah, but he says other than grimace, like you're coming off
or your
tough
pumpkin.
loss.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like he does that where most guys wouldn't give you that one bit of lightness that I think the fans really appreciate.
The goal today should be go back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
That should be it.
Did you guys see, by the way, that the Temptations, is that it, are playing?
That's awesome.
They're going to perform the anthem, and then they're going to sing My Girl, which is Lindor's song.
Yeah.
There's actually mixed reviews. It's going in the Kratz book of gimmicks. Some fans are really into it, and some fans are really not.
Good. Enjoy. I hope the fans enjoy it. I hope the fans enjoy it. When I talk about all the gimmick stuff, I'm just talking about the players not feeling like that's the somebody sat on the pumpkin. Oh no, now we're not going to get a hit. Oh, somebody, the Hamburglar got grimace. Oh no, we're not going to get this. Oh no, Timmy Trumpet's trumpet isn't working. Like, that's all. That's all I'm saying about the gimmicks. Like, we got another gimmick. That's so sick. I'm actually friends with the guy that sang my walk-up song, but he never came to a game to sing my walk-up song. That would have been pretty boss.
Yeah, I would have.
That's pretty cool.
I will say, because I love all this stuff, I'd rather have it in the regular season. That particular setup, like you're playing the walk-up song for the guy. Like
so you don't need gimmicks in the playoffs? You don't need gimmicks in the playoffs?
Well, no, this isn't something set up by the team. I mean, by the players, I'm saying. This is set up by the team, by the business side. So, but I'd rather have it in the regular season. Like, I think it would be really cool. I think you'd get, if you hyped it up, I think you'd sell tickets during the regular season for a random game to be like, hey, Temptations are coming. They're going to play it before Lindor's AB. Like, that's cool. Playoff. You don't need it in the playoffs.
No, but
it's
still,
sold out, and there's already so much going on.
Having the Temptations there is pretty cool.
It is cool.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it is cool.
Do you remember
my girl? My girl.
Locks, BetMGM. Let's do this. Coming off Kratz shining. Not too sweaty. How many did he finish with?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, but I stopped counting after 4. I think it was 5, though.
Okay. Good for you. Yeah. I mean, he went 5 innings. I don't think many people had that one signed up. No. So I'm sure he hit his over on outs pretty easily. Yanks lost for me. Obviously, it was a good game. Pretty good game. And then for Trevor, he fell with the first 5 innings, John. I said it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. But really, I'm focused on Pap today. because he's
Oh,
0-6.
man,
So he's got a pick for us, and let's see what he's got.
FT people, what's up? It's your boy Playoff Pap. Yep. And I'm no longer parlay Pap because I can't hit no damn parlay to save my life. But I'm going with my gut tonight. I'll see y'all on the live action party. I'm sure we'll be having a good time tonight with the watch party. So I'll see y'all tonight. But look, it's even money. Guards all the way. Yankees suck. Guards, let's go. I'm coming in hot. One bet, even money. I'm putting 600. 600. Let's go, Guards. Come on.
it's a different voice level now.
I wouldn't say the Yankees suck, but obviously you know what Pap's saying. People also would take it so literally. Did you hear Pap today? He said the Yankees suck. They don't suck.
Yeah.
But good luck, Pap, because I'm going the other way. I got the Yanks.
Yep.
I'll double down from yesterday, -120 to win a hundo.
Me too. Going Yanks again, but I'm going double or nothing. So I'm down 960. I'm going big time. 1,200 to win 1,000.
Wow.
Let's go. I'm getting back in the green. Here you go, Yanks.
Wow. I'll just do my simple 120 to win 100. I'll do 240. Sign me up for 240. It's
240.
playoffs. 240 to win
Chasing. I'm
200.
chasing.
Yeah. I'm down again too. I'm down a hundo. But
Kratz, what you
put me
got,
down.
kid?
Yeah. What are you doing?
You're only chasing until you hit. Then you're up money. That's what I like to hear. I'm going over. I'm going Todd. He tells me stick with the hot hand. Over 4.5 runs for the Dodgers. They've been doing it, and it's +120.
Overs are smashing lately. Smashing.
Over the river and through the
woods. A lot of higher scoring games than anticipated. So there you go. There's your locks. Yeah. And remember, the BetMGM bullpen jackpot is still running strong. Pick a player to hit a homer. You got to opt in. And you can win a share of a daily $50,000 BetMGM bullpen jackpot if the player that you pick in your home run prop lands a homer in an MLB team bullpen. Prizing will be paid out in bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Be right back, SC fam. Travis, you weren't on with us yesterday, but Max Muncy came on the show. And I always remember last year, for example, Paul Sewald was on the show. We get guys, but not often because, the schedule's tight. Guys get tight. They don't want to do as much. Totally get it, right? Like we get players on every day during the season. It makes sense. We're super appreciative of it. Last year, Sewald comes on the show after the Diamondbacks are down 2-0. And there were some trolls that were losing their mind about it. How is he coming on? He should be focusing. He shouldn't be talking about strategy. And obviously, we dispelled all of that as much as possible. And then the karma hits and they win the series. So Paul's like, sorry, I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to change what I do during the season, which is coming on the show every few weeks or whatever. Max does the same thing. He's pretty superstitious. He got on base 5 times yesterday.
3 walks, single, dinger.
Yeah. So just wanted to point that out, that sometimes, just doing your normal life and then doing it in the playoffs, actually, I'm not saying we contributed to anything, but we definitely didn't hurt. That's what I want to point out.
Love it. I love it. Do what you do, guys. Don't change. Sitting in your hotel room and be like, I hope everything goes well tonight doesn't make it easier. Surprise.
Right. I think it's cool. This is true in general, right? Like if you're on an abandoned island because your plane blew up or something, you're by yourself. Like it's not good for that was a little drastic. Yeah. Basically, my point is for your mental health, it's good to be with others and talk to people and all of that. So Max sitting in a hotel room stewing, right? Instead of 15 minutes on FT, not going to make a difference in his life. And if anything, could be like, oh, cool, that was a fun combo with the guys, just like catching up with some ball players plus the annoying host who makes weird references.
And he was like, there were some older guys talking about, if I ran a team playoffs, there wouldn't be any families involved. It would just be if families want to come to the games, they can come. And it's like, you are so locked in during the playoffs that a moment to have reprieve. I know I wasn't a good dad or a good husband during the playoffs because I was locked in, but you get an opportunity to kind of take yourself out of that moment. Because as soon as you go to the field, you're in it. So to me, everybody should come on FT, especially if you get on base 5 times. Just saying.
1,000%. And if anyone ever said, hey, guys, no one's allowed to talk to anybody right now, I'd be like, guess what? You are my employer. So I'm going to do whatever I want when I'm not at the field. You dork. That's what I would do.
What's up? We're back. Let's do a little spreading rumors, shall we? So we'll start with the update. Traveling man. Let's spread them. Hit it, maestro. Okay, so the Durham Bulls are the AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't think that the Rays or MLB have put anything out there yet, but the Bulls just want everyone to know they're cozy with their own spot, and they're not going to be able to accommodate. So they said, as the proud AAA affiliate of the Rays, we are always ready to support our parent club. Currently, there have been no discussions about hosting them in Durham, and we do not anticipate hosting them for a full season due to schedules overlapping and other logistical challenges. That makes sense, but they're just throwing it out there, and you always love the transparency and hitting the news quick when you can. So it's not happening there. We went over it a lot yesterday.
I don't think they want it. That's why they're putting it out now.
You don't think they want it?
They're putting it out now.
But, I mean, you could make some dough. People are going to show up to see the big league Rays if you're in Durham.
No, agreed.
But you can't have every game there without smashing your own schedule, and I don't think that's what they want to do at all, the league in general. So,
and they play a different kind of scheduling, like play a team 4 or 5 times. You know, it's a different scheduling. And if you go on the road, it's
a week with the same team.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Something like that. So unless they've changed it, but what I've seen. So we'll see. We'll see down the road.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed it to 6 games straight. They get every Monday off in the bushes, and they play the same team 6 games in a row. Brutal scheduling. But good for Durham. Good for Durham. There's going to be a minor league team that's going to step up and be like, yeah, we want a big league team coming in. Because just like John Fisher, he's excited when the Yankees come in town. He's excited when Ohtani comes in town. So, you know, I was actually in Durham when Giancarlo and Judge both. Now I'm trying to think of Judge. Maybe Judge finished his rehab. But anyway, G was there doing the rehab, and it was standing room only. It was crazy town down there. So they love baseball in that area, in the Triangle, and that is a beautiful stadium. The only thing they need to change, if an away player hits the bull, you need to still win a stake. So you owe me a stake from 2007.
What the heck, man?
I still need a steak. I'm not like Todd. I eat steak.
No, I crush steak. Filet mignon.
You're a vegetarian. You're a vegetarian.
Shoot. I'm steak and potatoes, baby. You remember me, Buster Douglas in Puerto Rico all day, kid.
At the Sizzler.
That's another name thing. Like you're gambling.
Yeah.
You want the dealer to bust. Come on, Buster Douglas. Let's go.
Buster Douglas.
There you go.
You know who loved that? Eric Hosmer. Absolutely loved that. Every time I talk to him, he texts me, yo, hey, Buster. He calls me Buster now.
That's good. That's good. One day we'll go over each name and what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And then real quick here, Dave Stewart's group, Smoke 34, is in active discussions talking White Sox. That's according to the Athletic reporting. Brittany Giroli was first to break the story about the White Sox potentially being for sale.
All right.
And we went over this a little bit yesterday with John Greenberg from The Athletic. If you want more info, definitely check that out. We've got that podcast that was put up this morning, wherever you get your pods, or on YouTube or on Bally Sports app if you want to check out segments. But he's been actively involved trying to get a team to Nashville. White Sox fans are like, hold up. Dave Stewart? Yes, we'll take him as owner of the team. But not if he's moving the team. Don't move the damn team. They have their lease, I think, through 29, which is not that far away.
Not far at all.
So
you got one team in Chicago already.
I think they need to have 2. So do not move the White Sox.
I don't know.
Do not move the White Sox. Do not start moving teams. It is so bad for business. That city can support 2 teams. Just need a little bit of a better structure there.
We'll see. The world is changing.
I don't think Smoke would do that. I know he's talking to the Nashville group, and we haven't. We could ask. I mean, I don't know if he'll talk yet because if he's in discussions, but Kratz, if he's going to, I think he's wanted to be with an ownership group. I think he would be part of an ownership group that runs the White Sox in Chicago. I don't think he's doing it to try and pull a fast one and bring him to Nashville. Nashville's going to get their own expansion team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just delayed. Dombrowski was part of that team wanting to bring a team to Nashville, and he saw the writing on the wall. The Phillies called, and it was an opportunity to do something currently in the game. So I think it's kind of dragging along. So maybe Stewart, to me, I think Dave might be doing the same thing where, hey, this is an opportunity to be in ownership of, or get our group together to be in owning a team, because this Nashville thing is kind of dragging its feet. Because Manfred said, until we get Oakland's situation figured out, until we get the Rays situation figured out, well, the Rays situation's figured out. So 2028, they're going to be moving into a new stadium. Oakland, not so much yet. So you're not going to hear anything about Nashville yet.
I disagree. They claim that it's all figured out and everything's done. So if that's the case this offseason, we should be hearing about the 2 expansion teams.
Wow.
Right? That was the rule. Hey, let's get it figured out. Rays have a new ballpark, signed, sealed, delivered. You say that the A's have everything
Oakland does not
in place, but they say they do. So put your money where
No.
your mouth is.
Yeah,
Let's see the 2
yeah,
expansion
Kratz.
teams. That's how it works. It's done. They said it's done. Everything's figured out. John Fisher's the most studious, well put together owner on the planet.
Yep,
He's
let
got
him
his
know.
ducks in a row. So let's see the
Boom.
2 expansions. Let's get
Boom.
Nashville lined up and one other team. Let's bring more ball to other cities.
Cut it out, Kratz.
They know
Yeah.
They know it's not figured out. They don't even have a stadium rendering yet. They don't have a real stadium rendering, and the Rays have it.
They have an
Just saying.
armadillo. There's a guy that
Stop.
drew up an armadillo and he's never seen a baseball
You're
game in
such
his
a
life.
troll.
And they have a GoFundMe page if you'd like to fund
Don't
John
troll
Fisher's
me.
ballpark.
Yeah,
But-
no. Every single guy goes and grabs their pullover and it's like, me, him, me, him. No. So yeah, Tony out here. I call him Tony. I love that. I love guys named Tony. That's just terrible, especially in the playoffs, man. Dude, even the closer's like me, and he hasn't had to do that all year. So that's just terrible. But it sounds like Arky's got a little, like, they call and he's like, "Hey, idiot," and like hangs up. But like, I had Eddie Guardado at the bullpen. He would have went along with it. It would have even after he hung up, he'd have been like, "Oh, okay. Oh, and then we're gonna do this. Oh, okay." And then he would like look at us all. And they'd be like, "Oh, it was just Rizzo." Like he would play it out for a minute just to give us all heart attacks. So at least they have a cool bullpen coach to kind of put them at ease a little bit. Man, that would. Oh God, the number of guys sitting there just like biting their nails and like looking at their hands silently out there. It's like a graveyard. So for that to happen, I still think of the stupid sound that phone makes to this day, and it's been a year. So, oh God, Aaron Loop could make that sound perfectly, and he'd do it.
That's who I try to learn it from, Loopy.
Oh, so good. And he'd sit in the back of the room and do it too. He'd like get up, go to the bathroom. Right when he came out, he'd do it. Everyone look around. It's awful, but
It was that
whatever.
good? He could do it like where you think the phone's ringing? Oh my.
Yeah. Yes. Man of many talents, Aaron Loop.
Wow.
Especially when you're inside. When you're inside, it reverberates, and you don't know. Like, was that the phone outside? Me?
Yeah.
You? Trevor, when that phone would ring and it wasn't you, your heart was racing. Did you ever feel like that took away from some of your ability to throw? Like, oh, I'm so exhausted now. Okay.
Yeah. There's something to that, getting up and then having to get it back up. The worst part is, like, I remember I had an outing. I think Edwin Diaz came in and he like we kind of surprised us. They brought him in the 8th, and he had to kind of throw a lot of pitches, but he got out of the inning. And then I was warming up like as I was going to close, and we didn't know if he was going to go back out or not. So I'm warming fully up, and then I get sat down because they're like, he's going back out. I'm like, great. I sit down, I get cold, and then he starts to struggle a little bit. So I'm like, I started to warm up again. I was like, oh no, this is bad. But for the most part, especially like last year when I was with the A's and I knew I was closing for the most time, the phone would ring and I just look down and be like, who is it? It ain't me.
Jerk.
And I just will be like, hey, get up, man. I'll see you later. Have fun.
It's not mine. I got a free pass to the 9th inning, guys. You guys wear it.
This time, the first 9 years, though, it was me. So
Hey, let's slap. We'll continue to run as many post-game shows as we can, so stay tuned to all our socials. We'll keep letting you know when that's happening. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Please subscribe if you're on there now. We love you as usual in the chat, and we will see you this evening. 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be running for at least a few hours with the watch party. That's the main event.
It's going to be awesome.
Vinny Pasquantino, Brent Rooker, Bobby Witt Jr., Mason Miller, Tarek Skubal.
That's going to be pretty
These
ridiculous.
Are the big boys, right? The other big boys are playing right now, right? Ohtani's playing. Judge is playing. Mookie Betts is playing. That guy, right? Like Mookie would come on a show like this. Judge and Ohtani are a little quieter, but like Mookie would come on a show like this. He's playing.
And you're going to get good perspective from Skubal about playing in Cleveland and the home run that he gave up. And I'm sure he'll be he won't shy away from all of it because he's an absolute beast.
Oh, my gosh. He was so good for them this year. He's such a Cy Young lock. Were you you were on the day that I told you how I was on Cleveland radio, and they were like, do you think Clase is winning Cy Young? I'm like, spit out my coffee.
Come on,
like,
man.
Excuse me?
Thanks for the question.
Did you guys see this dude in your division?
Next.
Who's auto win day and then saves your bullpen? Come on. Kratz hats, quick. What do you got?
Yankees.
Who I think's winning tonight.
Nice.
Let's go.
Little 2020, little COVID season.
COVID.
That's to bring Derek up. Derek needed a hug.
Yeah, our pinstripe territory host, Derek was
will be fine
last night with the therapy session. So everyone enjoy the games. This is the last 2-game day of 2024. Got ALCS and NLCS, and then it's 1-1-1 until it finishes, and then of course the World Series next week. So everyone, tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, wherever you are, and if you're of age, grab a drink. Post.